time is running and passing and passing and running and running and passing. So you all better get right at this time, cause it might be no next time. Y'all.
Hello everyone, welcome. I'm about to do an interview right now with Quinn on the online radio show, the Quinn Spinn. I just completed a radio show last week for WVOX Radio, of course, which is on my YouTube page right now, which was from the WVOX show Environmentally Sound, hosted by Bob Levensold. And I was on the show promoting the EGW show coming up, which has a new date now. It's now on Saturday night, March the 8th. Same place though, Salvation Army in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. However, on the radio show last week, we did get a bizarre mystery caller calling himself Frankie Firestarter. Basically, you know, if you didn't watch the show, listen to it or watch it on WVOX.com or on my YouTube page, the Frankie Firestarter was putting me down, saying that I'm nothing and he'll burn me and this and that. I'm not sure if this guy's a wrestler or whatever it is, or some prank or whatever it is, but I'm going to address the Frankie Firestarter situation tonight on the Quinn Spinn. And I'm going to be making a blockbuster announcement when it comes to Frankie Firestarter. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a ride as the Quinn Spinn comes your way with the special guest, yours truly, elite generation wrestling superstar, the Nomad.
Alright, back here on the Quinn Spinn. We have right there a song from our good friends Young Fox, new good friends of the show, and that was The Answer. And we have a very special guest and a very exciting opportunity for us here at the Quinn Spinn. This is the first time we're ever doing this via Google Hangouts, conducting an interview. And at this time, I'd like to introduce you all to our good friend, Justin the Nomad Chardullo. How are you?
I'm great. I feel really good, and I got a whole lot to say tonight.
Awesome. Now, the question we ask everybody else, and well, first I'll have everybody just go around and introduce themselves to you so you know who's talking. So first over here we have Scotty Rock.
What's up, Justin?
Hey, what's up, Scotty Rock?
That guy.
Hey, JT. Thanks.
Hey, great to meet you.
It's Blue. How are you? So we got a full cast of characters here.
Now, Quinn, I do remember the man. You had him as a guest on Moravian College when you had the show. He was very entertaining, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I like you already.
I'll give him a big head.
All right, we got that guy back here stealing some spotlight. You know that this video isn't actually going up. It's just the audio, right?
Yes, I'm all on that.
You're just trying to be seen now. Okay. So Justin,
Mm-hmm.
let's intro you first, as I'm being distracted back here by
my
wonderful co-host. Answer 3 questions for us. Who are you? What do you do? And why on earth would you want to come on to the Quinn Spinn?
Okay, well, I am Justin Chardullo, also known as the Nomad. I've been in the wrestling business in the past as Gia Savitz, but now that gimmick is no more. So now it's strictly the Nomad. I'm being me. What do I do?
Yeah,
well, I have a family.
Out of the ring, wherever.
Okay, I'll do both. Out of the ring, I have a family business called Four Corners Pizzeria. It's in Pelham Manor, New York. I own it, and we're considered the best pizza in New York. And I'm sure you New Jersey guys would love to, if you guys want a good slice of pizza. A lot of the pizzerias in New Jersey aren't too good, but ours is the best. We're better than all the pizzerias in New Jersey.
Definitely have to come by. Could you give us a shameless plug right there? Could you give us that name again?
Four Corners Pizza, Pelham Manor, New York.
Good friends of the show. So, third question. Why on earth would you want to dedicate a portion of your life
Oh, I didn't finish yet. I gotta do what I do inside the ring.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Man, I jumped ahead.
Well, you call myself a professional wrestler, personality, booker, And right now I'm working with Elite Generation Wrestling out of Pennsylvania. And that's strictly my focus right now in wrestling, as well as relaunching Extreme Hybrid Wrestling.
Yeah, and we are going to talk about EGW
Exactly.
a little bit later. So, what are you on the show for today? What are you here to promote?
I'm strictly here to promote Elite Generation Wrestling. We got a hot show coming up. Now, originally it was scheduled for Saturday, February the 8th. Now it's scheduled for Saturday night, March the 8th, 7 p.m., Salvation Army in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. And I'll say this to you, EGW, we have some of the best workers, wrestlers in the business today.
Awesome. So we'll talk about EGW in a little bit. We actually have Scotty Rock, who's also a very big wrestling fan here. And we're both kind of curious. I know he is, especially since he doesn't really know you. We're curious about your background and what other promotions you've wrestled for in the past.
You want to know about like where I grew up and everything?
Well,
How did you get into the business?
Well, I got into the business. I ended up training with Flesh Eater Cabachero and the Renegade Angel, and they had a wrestling school out in Yorktown Heights, New York, which is about 20-25 minutes away from me. Since it's a school close by, I figured let me go jump at the chance. And it was actually kind of interesting. They trained me basically one-on-one. I was really the only consistent student. You had other people flying by, coming in, coming out, and I stuck it out with them. And then from there, I made my pro debut with Massachusetts Underground Wrestling on June the 20th, 2004. And then after that, I started out with Next Generation Wrestling.
Yes, I remember NGW.
In 2004.
We've seen some of your other work. It's spot on.
Spot on?
Yeah. That guy, I guess, looked you up. He's a big fan of your work.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. That means a lot.
So why don't we talk about? So next, let's talk about why you wrestle. What drew you to the business originally?
Well, I mean, I was a fan growing up since I was 3 years old. I remember waking up 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday mornings, and I would turn on WWE, which at the time was WWF, and AWA, NWA, and I was hooked to the point where I remember my mother took me to Consumers, a retail store which went out of business, and she took me there to buy my first Hulk Hogan doll. And then after that, I just was hooked. I was hooked, and then finally I had to pursue it. And then I knew that this is what I wanted to do. This is one of the things I wanted to pursue. So yeah, it was from quite early on. I wanted to be a wrestler and a manager. I was a manager too. And then, as I said, I had to start training, as soon as I could. And as I said, with Flesh Eater Cabachero School.
So you've been in the business for a little while now.
So from 2004, and then I took some time off. And after I had my last show, September 10th, 2011, I took time off, and now I'm back ready to go for EGW on March the 8th.
So you've been around the business for a while.
Yeah,
you've had,
quite a bit.
You've had plenty of experience going around to different promotions. How has the business evolved? How has it changed? Has it changed for the better? Has it changed for the worse? What do you think about the current state of it?
I think I know people were concerned with WCW and ECW going out of business, that the business was just not the same. You're like, WWE is the only show in town. And it was kind of sad to see that, because I love WCW and I love ECW. I love WCW, especially when Vince Russo took over the booking, and I think he did a good job, really. But I think because of standards and practices, getting on his ass, I think that he could have contributed a lot more had they not censored what he was writing. And it was just very sad to see WWE is the only show in town. But then you had TNA come up, and then you had Ring of Honor coming up. And even though the business wasn't like what it used to be in the 90s and all in the 80s, I think right now the business is getting better. Ring of Honor is stepping it up. You got AJ Styles is with them now. TNA is getting their product better. They had a pretty decent rating last week on their show, the 1.1 rating. I think it's getting a little better. I think now you got a lot of hard-working guys now that are really looking to make a name for themselves. You got a lot of guys now that I look at as having respect for the business. I think the business is getting a little better now. And then, as I said, with EGW coming up. I mean, you know, if you go to the show, you'll see guys that are just really stepping up their game and they want to get noticed, and they're doing a good job of it.
Absolutely, and I think you know, you said something about the business kind of raising its game recently, and I
Yeah.
think Scotty Rock and I would definitely attest to that. You know, we're big fans. Even Monday Night Raw this past week,
Yeah, I think they're stepping it up. What do you think about the new network?
I think it's a good you know, a good move, and you know, just hearing about it, and you know, I'm sure all of us have been reading about it since 2012. They were saying, oh, it's going to come out in 2012, and then they kept you know keeping it back. And I think the network is a good move to make some extra money. I think the concepts are great. I mean, they got the Legends House reality show that they're going to air on it. They got the WrestleMania Rewind, and especially I'll be perfectly honest with all you guys, is that when it comes to the wrestling business now, I love watching the archive stuff along with some new stuff. I love the archive stuff.
very nostalgic about that stuff.
I love it. And as I said, I'm a fan of watching Vince Russo's WCW Nitros. So just hearing about the videotape library being brought into the network and all, you know, I'm excited. And, you know, it makes me want to, you know, subscribe to it during the 6-month cycle.
Absolutely. Now we have that guy back here who's kind of the comic relief on the show, and he's getting kind of antsy back here. So I want to ask you a question. I don't know what it's going to be, so brace yourself.
It's going to be real. Listening to you with your interview, I was thinking, it's real important that, like, your event can be forecasted or projected out to a local public.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I'm hearing from you, that it's great to support these venues, local venues,
Yeah.
And stuff, and, you know, just support the art,
Yeah.
making it big. What's your opinion?
Well, you know, what's good about like the indie shows a lot today is that they're very, you know, they are community oriented. And this show, EGW, we're kind of like giving back to the community because the proceeds for this show are for the Salvation Army. So we're doing the show in the Salvation Army in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, but we're also doing it as a benefit. So what's nice about an indie promotion like ourselves is that what we do is we kind of give back to the community, and that's what I love about the independent circuit. And when I was doing shows for, you know, Superstar Wrestling, I mean, we drew like, you know, 30, 40 fans, and what was just so nice about that is that we kind of gave back to the community, and I got to sign autographs, and even my ex-wife who worked the show with me as well signed autographs as well, and it just felt so good because, yeah, we were performing in front of 30, 40 people, but the fact that we got to sign autographs during intermission, and just, you know, you had the kids that, and don't get me wrong, I love to push the envelope. When it comes to wrestling, I like to push the envelope. I can be very risque, don't get me wrong, but I like the fact that we did give back to the community, and we did. We got to meet with the kids and put smiles on the kids' faces, and
yeah,
you know that's what.
It's very important. Like, you're actually, you know, at this level, we're giving stuff back to the community, and we're sharing with the community, and we're letting them, we're giving the community this exposed effort of your hard work, and which is so great. Where you say, oh, I'm going to do a show. It's not about the bucks. It's not about the stardom, which, you know, eventually will be there. You're giving it to the community, and you're exposing them to a great event.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Usually I would be like cut off now, but here you go.
So to play off of that, that was a very good question. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. To play off of that, how important? I mean, especially in the independents, where it can be kind of hard to make a name for yourself, and it can be kind of hard to really establish not only yourself as a wrestler, but an entire promotion. How important is the passion and the dedication to the industry?